next game. It's Chicago Bears at the St. Louis Rams. St. Louis is favored by 7.5 points. The over/under is 42.5. Are you starting Todd Gurley?
Now, I'll be curious with this game because we don't talk enough about weather and home field advantage. St. Louis has been having mediocre attendance all year. Now, that might not have as big of a bearing when you're playing the 49ers. Chicago is a 4.5 hour drive from St. Louis, maybe 5 hours. So this is one
True.
game where you might actually see it have more of like a Chicago. It's an indoor stadium too, so crowd noise can actually make a difference if there's crowd noise from the opposing team with the way that the Rams have been having horrible attendance this year. Just throwing it out there. Kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
That said, I'm a Bears fan and that I hate everybody on their team. And
Everybody?
Yes, everybody.
Really? You don't like
Yeah.
Alshon or
No,
Martellus Bennett?
no. I mean, I like Devin Hester.
He's
Where's
not
he?
there. He's
I
with the
know.
Falcons. Or is he not with anybody? He
I
was
think
with
he's
the
on
Falcons.
IR with the Falcons. And I'm pretty high on this Rams team, except for the quarterback. Freaking Nick Foles does not deserve the weapons and the defense that he has around him. That said, the Rams defense looks really good. They're one of the more expensive defenses, but that's always a difference of $700 or $800. So don't feel like you're breaking the bank if you do decide to go for them. I guess it's more like $1,200 difference in FanDuel, but 3,600 on DraftKings, 5,400 on FanDuel. So that's a good play that I like. I like Gurley and I like the handcuff. I like stacking the running back with the defense because if the defense holds, defense gives you some points up against pick six Cutler. That means they're going to be handing it off to the running back more. That also keeps the ball out of Nick Foles' hands. That said, he's actually too expensive for my lineups this week. This is my first week in a couple where I've not played Todd Gurley. So just throwing that out there for you. 7,300 on DraftKings, 9,200 on FanDuel, most expensive guy on FanDuel. So that's where I'm at with that.
I am playing Todd Gurley this week. I think he's
FanDuel or DraftKings or both?
FanDuel because he is so expensive. I think people will be off of him slightly.
That's true. And I have a player that is the opposite of that for me that I'll get to later. So I totally understand that point where
Yeah.
it's,
He's shot up. People will still use him, but Chicago's giving up 4.6 yards per carry, 121.6 yards a game on the ground. Again, Nick Foles, he's just not good, and I think Gurley is in line 20 plus carries every week. He's pretty certain for 20 plus. So let's see here. The last 5 weeks, 19, 30, 19, 20, 24. He's getting work. He's very, very blue chip for me. I like Todd Gurley a lot. So
Nick Foles is 5,000 on DraftKings, 6,400 on FanDuel.
Well, you got to hope he tosses a little screen pass to Todd Gurley, and then Todd Gurley scampers for 60 yards.
Yeah.
What's that noise? Is that a
Oh,
dump
yeah.
truck?
Apparently there's, somebody. How bad is it? Do you need me to?
No, it's not that bad. I can't hear you now. You muted it.
Yeah, but the noise got better though, right?
It got a lot better.
Yeah, so I mean, then the Bears, the big question mark there is Forte. He was in practice yesterday. He got a shot to his knee last week, so maybe he'll play, maybe he won't. If he doesn't, Langford is a good value play. But again, you also got to figure a lot of people are going to be wanting that. They're going to see everybody's eye is going to be on Langford this week, just like it was last weekend. If he gets the nod, then though, did you see what happened last week that threw everybody off right
No.
before the game? Well, Kadeem Carey got the start. And so that I forget which reporter at ESPN announced that like 25 minutes before the game. So a bunch of people went and changed their roster because Kadeem Carey was getting the start. He got the start, carried the ball 3 times, and then they put in Langford and kept him in for the rest of the game. So kind of an interesting little fantasy football wiggle there. But eyes on Langford, not a bad option. But the Rams defense is good. Cutler is Cutler.
Yeah. Well, I will say this is that St. Louis is third worst in the league in completion percentage allowed. 69.2% completions to opposing quarterbacks. I wouldn't shy away from Jeffrey or Martellus Bennett this week. They're not elite plays for me, but I think they're solid tournament plays, especially since St. Louis's defense is really good. And I am starting St. Louis's defense in a couple of rosters, so I'm not shying away from them. But I do think that Jeffrey and Bennett could be in line for, especially in DraftKings, where you get a full point per reception.
Yeah. Well, and the defense is not necessarily indicative of the offensive points either. One of the
That's true.
reasons for playing the Rams defense is fantastic special teams.
Yeah.
And they not only get turnovers, but they've been turning turnovers into points, it seems.
Yes.
Now, that doesn't necessarily shut an offense down. That can sort of encourage a higher risk offense. So you're not necessarily shooting yourself in the foot playing the Rams defense and some receivers from my team.
The Bears.
I wanted to say
Yeah.
Cubs. I miss the Cubs.